Hello, hello. I'm in a new spot today because I wanted to be cozy, sit on my little futon couch here, and I'm going to do some oracle readings. So whoever hops on live today, I'll also do a collective energy reading. So let me know if you are here, if this is live and working, and I'm just going to go let the Side Chicks Facebook group know that I'm here, where to find me. So let me know if you have any oracle questions. I am doing open oracle readings today. Live free oracle readings and collective energy. I don't normally post to my Facebook page itself, but I'm starting to be a little more tired of like hiding. I don't feel like I super hide my spiritual side from my Facebook, but I don't really put everything out there either. So I'm starting to get over that and just get over myself maybe and share it. So I'm just going to share it as well to the Side Chicks Facebook group. Collective energy. So let me know if you're here. Yes, you can absolutely ask a question. I'm going to do a collective reading as well, but please ask a question. I will also answer that. On Sundays, I like to do energy reading for, what we're going to expect in the week ahead. Hi from YouTube. Thank you for your comment. I appreciate that. Okay, now I've let some folks know. So that's helpful. Let me know if you have a question. I am going to do a little bit of collective energy reading. I can always jump in and answer any questions that show up as well. I decided to bring out Earth Magic for this week. And I just did a soul circle session. Here, take these off. I just did a soul circle session with the Heart's Frontier Soul Circle, which are any of my current clients. Ooh, romantic. I was hoping, I didn't say this yet, but I was hoping there would be love questions today. So I'm happy to expand on that for sure. What I was focusing on today in the Soul Circle collective energy reading, we do these kind of at, I guess, a few hours ago now on Sundays. And that's for any current clients or previous Empath Energetics members. And what I was focusing on was this idea that sometimes when we have a dream or desire that feels like it would change a lot of things in our life, it can be difficult to fully admit that desire. And that's because of the changes that would be needed in order to make that or allow that to happen. And so already we have lotus flower, which is unfoldment. Thank you, Sin. I'm thankful that you're not in a rush today. And thank you for being here. I'll definitely get to your question. And actually, I'm going to probably end up grabbing the romance deck as well, because I didn't grab it yet. So I'll grab that as well. So we have lotus flower and unfoldment for this week in collective energy, which to me is like the patience that is needed in order to let things come up to the surface. So, the lotus flower, if you're not familiar with it, they grow from the mud and sort of it's like kind of adversity conditions. And then there's this beautiful flower that sits atop the water, but you would never guess, that it's just all the way in the muck and it's not really that pleasant to look at underneath the water. Ooh, a card came out that does not come out very often. So I'm really excited by that. So it's definitely a week also to free yourself of any limitations. And so I deal with limiting beliefs and blocks that people experience on a pretty regular basis. And so it's really easy for me to quickly see them. But what's more difficult? Seeing them for yourself, for your own things. So even though I can be really sharp at noticing other people's, I'm not always as sharp with figuring out my own. And so this feels like a good week for kind of being soft and allowing yourself to admit what are the fears and things that you feel could be holding you back. We have the Sun Dancers. This is the card that I haven't seen. I actually don't know if it's ever come out before, which is funny. I've used these decks so much for years, and sometimes you'll just come across a card that has never seen the light of day. The Sun Dancers says joyful activity, celebration of life, and abundance. And I was just talking about a whole bunch of creative ideas and needing bravery in order to expand to that next level, to almost to take the risk. It is a risk to go into entirely new territory. And so whatever that new territory is that you might be feeling, it feels like this is like positive. If you just dance with it, it's like it needs to be in motion in order for it to expand. So joyful activity, doing things just for the joy of it and just for the sake of it, feeling good. There's this new deck that I've been using, the Super Attractor deck. It's like manifesting, and there's a card in there that it's like, I deserve to feel good. And it's so simple, but so good for when you're doing manifesting work. If you have an oracle question, feel free to get it in. Just tell me what your question is, and I'm getting to it as soon as this collective energy reading is up for the week. So on the flip side of this unfoldment and, just dance with it and sort of uproot those fears that are lingering below the surface, you also have the Chess Queen, trust and strategizing. So this is part of our collective energy reading for the week, that actually trust being a big part of faith, but the strategizing, it's like, we're going to dance with it. Sure. We're going to allow things, but part of that allowing is making space to allow that. So something I did was just plan like a co-creating art session. Hey, Stacy. So I planned like a co-creating art session this Saturday. That way, I saw it was like my next day that has a pretty open schedule. And I went, okay, block off the time. Because if you strategize and if you set it aside, you're much more likely to be able to unfold, use it to expand within that. And so that, I think, is really abundant, is when you can actually say, I've got all the moving parts of my life, the things that I really deeply crave are in there. They're slotted in. Okay, I'm going to switch on to doing some personal readings, because I just pulled the Sacred Union, Partnership, and Romance card. And that's the other piece about this joyful activity. When you're in joy and you do celebrate and you have that type of energy, you also attract that same like-minded connection towards yourself. I really feel like a devotion towards romance. And so if that is the thing you desire, if that is the thing you are hoping unfolds, it's to actually devote and dedicate time to practice it and to be in alignment with it. And if you're already in connection, it could be devoting your time or setting aside time for pure connection. It can be really easy when you're in a connection or friendship even, and to just not give it the space that it needs to sort of, we can just be lazy about setting aside time. So that's a message for whoever needs it there. I'm going to switch into the individual oracle sessions. So Stacy, if you have a question, please let me know what your question is for this oracle session. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you made it. I know the Soul Circle oracle times are a little early for where you are in the world, now that I'm over here in the world. So that was my intention, with setting up these collective ones a little bit later. Okay, Sin, I am answering your question here. Is Shiloh the one for me, or Nolwenn in terms of romantic love? So what's really interesting to me here is I have a difficult time. I'm such a romantic, okay? I have a difficult time validating, is someone the one for me? So just to start, when I was saying like devoting time to actually be with, connect to, and express yourself openly, they both love you. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. So is someone the one for you? No one is the one for you. You are the one for you. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Thank you for clarifying, but I knew what you meant. And I can feel their energy as well. So it's like, yeah, explanation is helpful. It's fine. But just so you know, I'm tuned in. I'm feeling it here. The thing that is difficult to explain maybe for where you're at is just the idea that, so already I will say, go in the direction of Shiloh, and express yourself more openly or more deeply. And at the same time, I don't want you to put the pressure of anyone being the one, because that puts a different kind of expectation on things that I think wouldn't really be fitting to this certain connection that you have. This says have faith, and it says trust your faith in this situation. I also see a lot of butterfly energy, so that like may very much, I don't always notice what's on the cards. That may very well be linked to your situation. I feel a lot of energy towards you and your heart towards Shiloh. I think there's also, if I can speak honestly, I feel a bit of uncertainty based on the longevity of commitment that comes up for you when you think of this. So that's why I'm asking you to actually just step away from needing it to be one thing or another or long lasting necessarily, which, you know what, like if you only want to date for long term, I totally get that, because that's how I feel right now. I don't really want to bother unless it's like legit, but it's a lot of pressure energetically, emotionally, even to feel like someone is the one. And so I just want to be really clear about that, because that's what I feel could cause a strain here. I actually kind of feel this like really beautiful quality from Shiloh that is like earth angel, like is very like they're a bit of a gift to your life, and there's sort of a pureness, a purity to their care for you that I think will be really beneficial for your heart and your growth, whether or not this lasts a lifetime or not. And so I don't want to predict how it's going to go. I just want to be really clear that that's how I feel you're needing to look at it at this time. Let me know how this is resonating so far. Yeah, I don't feel any energy towards no one. As far as what's true and on your heart, I'm curious whether that resonates. Okay, good. So here's the other thing. So there's this card. Oh, there's angel wings. That's so befitting. Angel wings. Yeah, I actually don't feel your heart's divided at all. And I think that might be a bit of a ruse of the mind. It's a bit of a joke that your mind is pulling on you, because it's acting like your heart's divided when really your mind is trying to logically figure out what is the right choice. I think if you got your mind out of the way and you said, mind, it's not time for you right now, I need you to step out of the way, I actually feel like you just end up on Shiloh, and I don't think it would question it at all. I think it's the thinking about it that has you feeling like, oh, I can't decide what my heart wants. You're not trying to decide. Your heart already knows. If your heart already knows, there's no reason to think about it. It will already know. This says I slow down and I listen to the guidance that is available to me. So what I saw you doing, and I find this really helpful for myself, maybe you take a walk or you clear your head or you do some, movement or singing or something, and you just sort of get yourself into a quiet kind of space where your body needs are sort of met, you feel connected to yourself, and then put your hands on your heart. And if you put your hands on your heart and you say, what is truly right for me in the matter of love, you might also find you don't need to chase and secure. Like it feels like Shiloh's affection for you is actually more intense than you feel. So that's why you feel like there's an imbalance, but that's okay. These things can grow, or perhaps it won't grow, but you owe it to yourself to follow what's actually on your heart. And that's what it feels like to me. It does feel like that's who it is. But you need to slow down, and even slow down the expectations on both sides, you might be able to say, I really want to just enjoy my time with you. And this is really, I really enjoy our connection. And I'm not sure where it's going to lead. Is that okay with you? You might really, really slow it down away from any type of expectation and trust yourself. It's like, have faith, but also trust yourself that you're going to be able to continue knowing how to deal with this. I feel like part of you is afraid because of the intensity or certainty of Shiloh's feelings for you. And then we have be willing to express love. So I have this feeling like you're holding back, and that's what's caused the imbalance, actually. That if you expressed yourself but also pulled things back a little, it would balance everything out, and you'd go, oh, this isn't as scary, this isn't as serious as I thought it would need to be. She might be really, or they, I'm not sure actually, they might be really happy with simply you being present to them. I was talking, this says express love to receive love. And I was talking with someone recently who I used to date. Shiloh's a guy. Okay, cool. I was talking to someone recently who was saying that they read something or listened to some video about seduction. And Stacy, let me know if you have an oracle question, because I'm going to wrap up this in a couple minutes here. They were talking about the idea of seduction and how it is more about you being present with the person than we really have realized. And when you think about it, a lot of times people are good at seducing, whether for, positive means or nefarious means. If it's for positive means or nefarious, either way, what they're doing is paying a lot of attention to that person, because they need to be able to read and understand. They also want to put their devotion and focus in. And it's almost like leaving ourselves to have this devoted energy. And I'm not suggesting that you separate from yourself entirely, but it can feel like a bit of a break sometimes when we just allow ourselves to be really invested and interested in someone else. So this dividedness that you're feeling, I actually feel like is a fear of intimacy, a fear of actually just stepping into connection. Because if you continue being divided mentally, then you can continue trying to make a decision on it. When really love is about taking the risk to open yourself up to what lies beyond and what lies ahead as well. Let me know if this brings up more questions. I'm just going to pull up one more card here. I didn't actually grab my romance cards, but it doesn't feel like they're needed because I can feel the energy pretty clearly. I just want to get like an energy for what's next in your journey towards this romance. Again, I'm feeling it very clearly, very strongly, that if you silence yourself and your mind, you're going to then be left with your heart. And you know what? You can feel bad for someone. That's fine. You can feel bad for them. And then what? And then what? That's nothing to base a love on. And I have a feeling that you have allowed yourself to be more involved with this no-one person because you are actually avoiding deepening a connection with Shiloh. That's what it feels like to me. Which happens. People do that all the time. And you know what? Have you been rejected? We've all been dismissed or disconnected or rejected in some way, even if it doesn't happen very often for you. There's been some situation where you've been let down in the past, and that could be a very good stepping stone towards the next person that you're meant to be with. And if you are honest and you follow your heart, it is much easier to get through that feeling bad for someone else. That's temporary. It's very temporary. And you're allowed to feel bad for them. Why not? Okay, we have surrender to the journey, surrendering to the journey. It says release control. Remember, I was just saying beneath the surface and like what goes beyond. We have uncovering treasure. So it says beneath the surface lies great bounty. So I feel like you've actually been kind of keeping things on the surface level. And that's why you're still stuck in the mind of how to make this decision. I don't feel like your heart is divided at all. I feel like your heart actually has clarity. And it's a matter of being willing to dive deep, be honest, and also to slow things down. It really does feel like you're going to need to slow things down because there's sort of like there's an intensity energy that's more like chaos loving rather than actually supportive to the situation. But look, underneath the surface, there's great bounty. There's lots of treasure. There's, riches to be experienced, richness in life as well. Richness in life. Happy Easter to you, Stacy. I'm going to pull a manifesting energy card, the super attractor card for us for the week. Ooh. These are from a recent reading, so I'm just going to put them back. Often I will get that message. Let's see if either of them pop out again. Yep, exactly the same card popped out again. That's wild. I tend to trust that happens, but it still kind of shakes my mind up a little bit. Sin, let me know how else that resonates. What else you want to know, if anything. I'm here for the next little while. Probably for the next 10 minutes or so, maybe. So another card we have for our collective energy for the week. It's a really beautiful card deck. I quite like it. It's very simple. Directing my focus onto what's thriving creates more of what I want. So no matter what in your life, could be romance, but for me, it could also be art. It could be business. It could be connections, friendships, ideas. Could be health as well. By directing your focus to what's thriving and what's really got some steam behind it, what's got, some actual movement, what feels like it's going somewhere or could go somewhere if you put energy towards it, that creates more of what you want. What is thriving? It's like water the plants that you want to grow. Don't water the plants that you see just because they're there and you're just desperate for anything to grow, right? It's like water the plants that you want the fruit from. It seems quite simple, but it's different in practice, really. Stacy loves that. I love that too. Okay, let's do a little bit more. I've got some... See, Stacy, you don't even have to ask a question. You're going to get something that resonates. That's the joy of showing up, And it's never a pressure. I always like answering questions because I like helping people. But, not every time do we need that. I'm just going to file these cards in from the last reading so that I don't have that thing happen again where a repeat card just pops out with another repeat card. That's my sign for, hey, I need to shuffle this back in. So anyways, so funny that same card popped out though, like what are the chances? You saw me shuffling. Okay. Okay. This is the Healthy Life, Happy You card. So these are like self-care suggestions, and they're actually like actions that you can take. And I'm pretty big on that. When I teach people in the Empath Energetics program, see, Shiloh lives closer to you. It's maybe got a little bit more of that like thriving energy. And maybe there's also a bit more than just the logistics of it. I really think that your answer here will be dropping into the heart. And I don't think it'll be easy to drop into the heart when you're just trying to think it out because, it's just not the same place that you're listening to the intelligence of your mind rather than the intelligence of your heart. Both are valuable, but I think you've overthought this one enough that it's like really a heart-based answer that needs to be the key. Oh, this is a good one. This is one that I can't do here because there isn't a bathtub. So I just moved to a retreat center and we have no bathtub. But I was thinking tomorrow we often do a sauna as a community. And I'm not sure if we're going to do one together as a community, but I thought to myself, you know what? Either way, I might just make a sauna for myself as well and do like an aroma steam thing, do hot cold therapy, which I really like doing in the sauna because there's a cold shower right outside it. So it can kind of flip back and forth. It's just the honoring of like, so this one's take a bubble bath. So if you have a way to take a bath, that's a beautiful way to just get to the clear answer. You know, it's like you sort of shut yourself in when you go and take a bath. You shut yourself in. You say, it's just going to be me and me. And I used to do this all the time. I would like go into the bath with like a problem or a question or just some sort of idea, like a project or something. And I would be in there and I go, okay, this whole bath time, I'm just going to let myself focus on that one thing. And it's like a bath meditation, you know? If I'm in there for half an hour or 40 minutes or something, it's like I am reflecting deeply and being with the idea of whatever it is and seeing what comes out of that. And then anything that you need to let go of, it goes down the drain. And there's a beautiful energetic practice to that. So you could also do that in a shower. A bubble bath is quite nice, or a salt bath, especially. We also have this. Think about how your actions make a difference in the world. And this is something I've been thinking a lot about lately, is expanding my reach, or what's needed in the world, doing more of what I feel that is. Because really, once you find some level of comfort or security in your life, it's almost like you just know that so many people aren't feeling that we sort of not owe it, but it sort of behooves us to act in a way that it helps expand our world. And so this Empath Energetics program, I think, is going to be the only one that I run this year, because there's other ways creatively and career-wise that I'm being called to actually step up and make a larger impact, a deeper, bigger impact. When at one point, Empath Energetics was like the deepest, biggest, coolest thing that I could create and put out there. And Sin, because you're new here, the Empath Energetics program is this 4-month intuition development and energy expansion course that I have created. I've run 4 rounds of it. So this is going to be the 5th round, which means it's really epic now at this point. And it makes a really big, difference on people's lives that take it. And at the same time, so many people deserve that there's only one me to do this program. So I'm working on a book. I'm also working on more creative expressions of myself that, I think this world needs more authentic artists and successful artists and people who are proudly sharing themselves with the world. And it requires a certain level of courage and bravery. So I've been getting a lot of messages this week about that, and also about trusting that Spirit's intention for us is to live at our fullest expression of our truth. Our spiritual guides are rooting for us to live in a way that is following our heart and trusting our mind with the follow through. So your mind is still a useful thing, but not the only intelligence. And we have embrace your emotions. Whose feeling are closer to me? Can you rephrase that question? I'm not sure if I'm quite understanding it. Who would be more committed to you? That's exactly, okay. I'm really glad you asked it that way. Yeah, I'm going to speak to that in a second. So embrace your emotions. This actually might have to do with you as well, Sin. I think it's probably for all of us, Stacy as well. Giving you goosebumps when I talk about this. That's good. That's good. I'm glad you're here. So allowing your feelings to surface and to be accepted. What if the risk here is not as big as you thought? What if the risk is really minimal? And the reason I say that is because when we are moving forward and acting in an aligned way, we are not taking a risk. We take a risk when we work against the grain of what we're here for, what we're meant for, what we're aligned with, and what our spirit is guiding us towards. So if there's no risk with you chasing your pure desire and intent and your heart, if there's zero risk following your heart, then there's only risk not following your heart. If your emotions here, I feel, are saying that you're afraid of if it doesn't go well, think about this. There is no risk if you are following what you feel is right. as far as who would be more committed to you, embrace the idea that some of these emotions you're having are fear. And fear is not the same as love. It's not in alignment with love. And it's not the result of what you want. So focusing on what is thriving creates more of what you want. What is thriving is, I feel the purity of feelings you have in your heart towards Shiloh. Whether or not either of you are fully committed to each other for a lifetime, you owe it to yourself to pursue with clear energy and clear intention and honest expression. You actually have to be willing to give out your own feelings here and not just choose the safest option. You actually need to give yourself up and surrender a bit to love. And to be in the joy of it, to actually be in the celebration, the joy. Remember this sun dancer came out right before the sacred union. Your feelings are stronger for Shiloh than for no one. And that is what is more important here. That's what it feels like. Doesn't matter. The risk is there no matter what. The risk is higher if you are trying to outthink this rather than to allow yourself to feel what is true and underneath. And I'm not trying to convince you, if you sign off this call and you do some heart-based work and you really feel like, you know what? No, I'm feeling the other direction. Then, you need to do what you need to do. I'm not going to say like you're going to be walking down the wrong path or something. But if you're asking me, and you are, the reason you're asking who would be more committed to you is because you're afraid that if you make a decision, someone's not going to be committed to you and you should have chosen the other person, but that's not true. What you need to do right now is focus on, thank you. What you need to do right now is focus on what your feelings are. Because you're wondering, here's the thing. If it's not aligned, if I have two options in front of me and one of them is not aligned, but they say that they have stronger feelings or it feels like they might have stronger feelings, that's still bound to not work if my feelings are not there. And your feelings are equally as important as the other person, but that's not what this is about. What that question is actually asking is, who's less of a risk of rejection? Who would be more committed to me is who is less likely to hurt me with abandonment or rejection. And it's possible either or both of them could, and that they are one step on your journey. It's also possible that either of them could be a lifelong partner. The risk is going to be there inherently, whether or not anything changes. So the real challenge is, can you get out of your mind enough? If you're here and you're wanting an oracle reading, feel free to ask a question. I know there's more people jumping in. I'm able to answer for the next few minutes here. So that the real challenge here is getting your mind out of the way and allowing the truth of what you're feeling to bubble up to the surface so that you can actually follow that guidance. Because again, I think you've thought this through enough and you didn't come to a decision because it's trying to make a decision based on risks and fears and not pursuing what you love or what you desire. And what you desire is equally as important as what they desire, perhaps more if it's in the matter of us talking to you. Thank you for saying you'll definitely take my advice. I hope that it helps. I'd love if you want to come back to this reading, you can find it under my YouTube channel and under live. So make sure you're subscribed to me. And, while you're here, if everyone wants to just like the video, it helps more people see it. But you can go under live. So it'll be home, videos, shorts, and then you'll see live. Sometimes people have a hard time going and finding where these save, but they get saved automatically. You're already subscribed. Well, that's great. I'm glad you got the notification and ended up here. And thank you for liking, whoever just liked that. Okay. So I did a bit of a collective energy reading already. I'm happy to answer any more questions from anyone else who is here. And yeah, it's me. Thank you, Sid. I really appreciate that. Okay. No one messaging here, being like, I can't find you. That also sometimes happens. I'll wait a minute and see if anyone has any more questions. If you have any questions for me as well. Yep, Sin, I'll totally read into that a little bit more, and I'll just wait to see if anyone else has any questions first, just to make sure that I give that space. I think you should ask more of what your feelings are towards Shiloh. I really do think that's what I really think. I'll do a little bit of a reading as well because I'm kind, but that's what I feel. If I'm being honest, which I really do try to be all the time. And I'll take a minute as well. You'll ask that too. That's good. I'll take a minute as well and just say that if anyone, watching in the replay or here live, if you get a lot out of my readings or you want to support me in these, the free ways that I give my services, I do have a PayPal donation button, and also the Empath Energetics program is currently open for registration until the end of April. So I'm welcoming in the next cohort of people for Empath Energetics 5. It's a really epic program where we develop your intuition. Stacy, I love your stuff. I'm really thankful you said that, Stacy. And that's why I did the PayPal donation button, because sometimes people would just be like annoyed that I give free readings, but it's a beautiful way to serve. And I have lots of different ways people work with me. So, the Empath Energetics allows me to live and eat and, take care of my goals and dreams as well. But serving here live on YouTube helps me feel like I'm actually helping just for the pure sake of it. It's kind of like a service in that sense. But sometimes people want to, send me monetary exchange because they don't want to do a full session with me, but they want to, say thank you or whatever. So anyways, that's there. But the Empath Energetics program really is my heart and soul, and the thing that I've put the most effort into in my career so far. The reason I'm actually only going to do the one, and this has only become clear to me this weekend, I love the connection that people have with me. I love doing this work. Thank you. Thank you. So the reason that I think I'm only going to do one Empath Energetics round this year is because I'm also called to write a book, an Empath Energetics manual. And that's going to take a lot of energy, and it's going to take some devotion. And so I'll switch into doing different work, different types of sessions as soon as this round of Empath Energetics launches. And, we welcome in the next, 6 to 8, I maybe 5 to 10 people. I think maybe 6 to 8 is kind of an ideal number for empaths. And so if anyone likes my vibe, the same way Stacy likes my vibe, Stacy, if you're wanting to join in the Empath Energetics program, or Sin, or whoever else is watching, P.S. you're welcome to ask a question if you want. Otherwise, I'm just going to head back to Sin's question of furthering on Shiloh's feelings. Then yeah, I highly recommend you take a look at the Empath Energetics program. It's unlike anything that I've seen online. I really haven't seen anything that's like it. It combines a very specific mixture of things that helps give you self-healing tools, helps you trust your own intuition. I love serving as an oracle. I also love when people feel empowered to answer their own questions. They feel guided. They feel like they're on a good path in life on their own. And then we have the soul circle. Stacy's a part of the soul circle. I have the soul circle group just so that we all have a space to connect as well. But I really like people feeling like they come back to themselves fully. They know what they want. They know how they feel, and they feel light. They clear out some of their shadow, and then they can leave this big, sensitive, heart-filled legacy on the world. Again, I feel like we need more people in their true expression. Okay, I'll read a little bit of Shiloh's feelings. This is interesting because I still don't feel called. I can easily go up and get one of my romance decks, but I don't feel called to. Yeah. So I was getting the feeling, this just like confirmed how I was feeling. I was getting the feeling like Shiloh is ready to open you up to new parts of yourself, new aspects of yourself, and that this love would be expansive. And I have chills when I say that, so it feels very true. When I get goosebumps, it's like, this is real stuff. So we have starfish spirit, open to infinite possibilities. I also feel like you would have really nice sleep next to each other. I don't know why I feel that. I feel like you would sleep well just resting. Like even if you just took a nap, you would feel like, oh my gosh, that felt like I slept for 8 hours. There's something very like peace bringing about Shiloh's energy. And open to infinite possibility, I feel like if you're having difficulty reading Shiloh, like I trust the purity of their interest in you. Seriously. Trust his like his openness and willingness to bring you into his life. And then cat spirit says, claim your independence. I also feel this is really like, it's on point. I feel like they have a really kind of like, he has a grounded way of looking at things in that he'll respect you needing to do what you need to do. And so that claim your independence is like, you need to say, I just need to see what this is. And I'm feeling a bit shy, or I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable about really opening myself up here, but I want to trust that we can lean into this love. Or, you know, that's what I feel. I don't know, obviously, but it feels to me like it's going to teach you, this connection is going to teach you, if you keep stepping towards it, it's going to teach you a bit how to like stand up for what is important to you, what your desires are, and what you need. And that's why the risk here truly is ignoring your own feelings here and only focusing on other people and whether or not they're going to hurt you or not. What if you just opened up to enjoying this and being in a loving connection and seeing what it had to give you and what it had to offer you and what you could learn from it and what you could receive from it? I feel like that's a really different energy than you often approach things. So could be really beautiful. I'm going to pull one more card here. Yeah. The High Lord of Gratitude and Service. So I do get the sense that Shiloh is like fairly balanced, and it's almost like unsettling because it's like you can't quite read him. And so it says selflessness, humility, and conscious action. And I really feel like what Shiloh will need is for you to be clear and honest and certain in your intentions, and to try to be giving to each other. And so it's not about, am I going to get hurt? It's like, you know what? If I get hurt, I'm so glad I loved you. Like that is the type of vibe that is like the theme of this, if that makes sense. Let me know if that resonates as well. Stacy, I love the soul circle. You guys make me feel welcome and loved. You are welcome and loved. I really do. I honestly, I set an intention out before I did Empath Energetics. I have chills now saying this too. I set an intention out and said, I want to work with sensitive, caring, and loving people. I want to help them feel more themselves so that they can make a bigger impact on the world around them. And that's what I found in the soul circle. It's like all these people who stay in the group and who feel connected. It's quite an intimate little group we have. Any of the people who take Empath Energetics, it's like they are deeply trying to find their place in making the world a more loving place. And so it's because we kind of co-create that together. And I enjoy people feeling welcome. And, you know, it's like you're kind of coming into my home. Energetically, you're all with me right now. I feel you all around me right now. And so it's like you're all sitting in my little living room and I'm just doing cards. And I like that kind of feel. I think we crave that kind of feel. And as someone who craves it myself, it's like such a joy to be a leader and a guide and a teacher. You're welcome, Sin. It is such a joy. It's like a humble joy to be a leader and teacher of these qualities of life that I feel a lot of us crave and are missing out on in some way. And I was very blessed to have, you know, an upbringing that led me to this place, however it did, on all the twisty turns that it took me on. Okay, well, if no one has any more questions, giving you a hug too, Stacy. I'm giving everyone here a hug and wishing for you this lotus flower unfoldment, and that you dance and you celebrate your life, and that you strategize making time to celebrate your life, and that you actually set aside time for these deep desires that you perhaps have not brought up to the surface yet. That is the focus for this week. So thank you for being here at the Heart's Frontier, this little space. You could ask more too, I know. It's easy to do, isn't it? I speak the truth, and then you're like, oh, I'd like some more of that. But now's the time that you've got to connect with your own heart. I will be back many times this week. So you know what you can do? I won't be annoyed at all if you come back and ask more questions, as long as you're continuing to refer to your own heart as well. Okay. You can look at under Heart's Frontier. You can look at under live. You'll see all of these new ones. I've scheduled a whole bunch for this week. I'm going to be live a whole bunch in April because I want more people to know about Empath Energetics and the fact that we're starting out. That is the deepest way and most direct way and the most long-lasting way to tune into your own intuition, your own energy, become the oracle for yourself. So be blessed. If anyone wants to come back and do different readings, if you want to share this with friends, that really helps me out. If you're not right for the program, maybe some of your friends might be. And yeah, it's such a treasure and a blessing to be able to serve in this way. So thank you all. You made my day. And yeah, I'm going to go live in the Side Chicks Facebook group later tonight. So Stacy, if you end up thinking of a question, you can feel free to hop in there because I know you're in there as well. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Be back soon. Chat soon, everyone. Take care.